Spider-Man has always been a character known for his iconic suit design and his gigantic library of alternate costumes. For as long as he's been in the world of video games, it's been tradition for game developers to add in as many of these alternate suits as possible from across the character's mythos, ranging from the comics, to movies, to cartoons, even to original designs made specifically for video games. In Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Insomniac gave us a historic number of unlockable suits that can be worn by both Peter Parker and Miles Morales, with over 200 designs to choose from. In today's video, I'll be taking a look at all 78 suits present in Marvel's Spider-Man 2, as well as all 147 suit styles, and I'll be ranking them all from worst to best. Keep in mind, this ranking is entirely my opinion, and just because I rank a suit low, that doesn't mean that I think it's bad or that I'm attacking your favorite choice. All of these suits have something different to offer, and each of them have something special about them that you might appreciate more than me. They have to be ranked somewhere, so if you don't agree with where I put them, please be kind and share your own ranking down in the comments. I'd like to mention that because there's so many suits in this game, most of them being suit styles that are just recolors, I'll be ranking the main 78 suits, but whenever I talk about a suit that has different styles, I'll do a smaller sub-ranking for those styles. So there might be some suits that go up or down in the overall ranking based on my overall feelings for the default suit and its styles. I plan on doing a bigger video sometime in the future where I'll rank every suit and style as its own thing across all 3 Insomniac games, but for now, we've got a lot of suits to cover, let's get right into it. Number 78, the Kumo suit. At the bottom of the list we have the Kumo suit. Personally, I just don't click with the overall design of this costume. It doesn't appeal to my taste, and I often find myself questioning some of its design choices, the eyes especially. I can totally understand why it might be somebody's favorite, because if I could give this suit credit for one thing, it's originality. There's absolutely nothing else that looks like this, and the inspiration behind this suit is cool enough that I appreciate it being here, but it just falls behind some of the other suits on this list. When it comes to the different suit styles, my favorite is the black and white variant because it looks like something out of an old-timey photograph, then the default style, followed by the dark red and blue style that better resembles Spider-Man, and lastly, the light blue and tan style, which compared to the other 3 looks, just doesn't work for me. Number 77, the Agimat suit. Having a good concept is something that I can appreciate when it comes to every suit, and the Agimat suit is a prime example. Being a Filipino-inspired design, Agimat means amulet or charm, and this costume is essentially what it would look like if you turned an amulet into a wearable outfit. The major thing holding this suit back for me though is the primary color being bright purple. It's not my thing. However, I do like aspects of its design, like the gold necklace pattern around the neck, but unfortunately I prefer the concept way more than the execution. Number 76, the Evolved suit. It's crazy to me how this suit became so hated in such a short amount of time. The design itself is not the worst thing in the world, it's far from being good, but I think what most people hate is what this suit represents. Contrary to what Miles might say, it's not a Miles Morales original, it's an Adidas advertisement thrown into the final act of the story for no realistic reason, and that's why I'm put off by it. Aside from the mask revealing Miles' very recognizable haircut, I actually think there's a little bit of charm to its design with the shade of red used, and the blue section matching the new powers that Miles unlocks. However, I've seen so many fantastic redesigns of this suit that blow the original out of the water, and every time I see them, I wish we got those instead. But like I said, I feel like most people wouldn't have hated this suit so much if it ended up being a harmless, side unlockable suit that didn't fundamentally backtrack on Miles' character development and canonically replace his iconic black and red design. In terms of styles, my favorite is the black variation since it's the closest to Miles' original color palette, then the default style, followed by the white torso style with the red gradient on the arms, and lastly, the entirely white style, which I would have preferred if the lenses were blue or black like the rest of the suit. Number 75, the 25th Century suit. The best way that I can describe the 25th Century suit is that it looks very similar to other suits that we've gotten throughout the Insomniac games, some of which are already in Spider-Man 2, except this one lacks the charm all those other suits had. It looks like a combination of the futuristic Aaron Eichmann armor from the first game and the Life Story suits with its astronaut-inspired look, which sounds cool, but I'd rather wear those suits instead. The best thing about this design is the shade of red used on the arms, and even though the helmet is shaped like a fishbowl, I do like the design of the mask, but that's about it. I think it's a fine suit, but there's not much to write home about. Number 74, the Saving Lives suit. Based on Yuri's costume design for Wraith, the Saving Lives suit is a cool reward for completing all the Flame side missions. The best way that I can describe my feelings for this suit is that it reminds me of the Agumon suit, but the more subtle shade of purple and the incorporation of the dark sections to balance out all the different colors makes me like it a bit more. I like whenever Wraith teams up with me during random crimes while I have it on. It should go without saying that these two go together really well. However, this is one of those suits where I prefer the suit styles way more than the default style. My absolute favorite is the white style. The white, gold, and black colors look so clean, and then my second favorite is the red style. After that, I could go either way with the default style and the green style. They're pretty even for me. Number 73, the encoded suit. This is a pretty cool cyberpunk looking suit for Spider-Man, but I'd be lying if I said there weren't other futuristic looking suits that I prefer. And believe me, there's a lot of them in this game. The tiny details associated with the encoded suit, like the different phrases plastered on the arms and the torso, are a nice touch, and I think the dark gray and yellow color palette go well together, but for the most part, this suit suffers from being one of many futuristic Spidey suits, and more often than not, it gets lost and I forget about it. However, when I remember that it exists, it's fun to put on from time to time. Number 72, the biomechanical suit. Inspired by popular anime creature designs, it's not shocking that the biomechanical suit looks like an actual spider monster. Putting this on makes me feel like Miles is from an alien race and that the suit isn't actually a suit, but it's part of his skin, which is evident by the inclusion of those spider fang designs on the mask and those cool sections of muscle peeking out near the neck. The suit also has toes, which is weird, but it makes sense. Overall, it's a fun design with a really cool concept. I like pairing it with some of the spacesuits that we see Peter wear, like the 25th Century suit. Number 71, the Red Spectre suit. This suit has a really strong design, a sleek color palette, and is unironically the better version of Miles' evolved suit. The only thing that I'm iffy about is the hair sticking out the top of the mask, but at least it has some red highlights to give it more character, and it ties the whole design together. I could say this for just about any suit in the game, but the Red Spectre suit feels like it belongs in the Spider Society from the Spider-Verse movies. It just gives off that Spider-Sona OC type of vibe, if that makes any sense. Number 70, the Tactical suit. I feel like this is just a poor man's version of the Armored Advanced suit from Spider-Man Remastered. Not to say that this suit is bad or anything, I actually quite like it, and I'm sure people prefer this one over the other one, but it feels too similar to the Armored Advanced suit that I can't help but draw up comparisons between the two whenever I put this suit on. However, what makes it stand apart is that it's not bulky like the Armored Advanced suit. The Tactical suit is designed to be more lean and sleek, which is evident by its lighter color palette. Credit where credit is due, it definitely feels like a tactical outfit. Number 69, the Strike suit. Here's a familiar look that we've seen before, and like a few other returning suits on this list, my thoughts on it haven't changed all too much from previous games. The Strike suit has a pretty interesting design with the yellow Venom power surging throughout it, which I think this suit pulls off that concept way better than the evolved suit, but I still feel like it's too bulky for a Miles suit. Considering Miles has so many other stylish outfits that I'd rather wear, the Strike suit unfortunately gets pushed down near the bottom. The Strike suit actually has a pretty solid lineup of suit styles, with the default style being my favorite. The all-white style with the red gauntlets has such a sleek design, making it my second favorite, but I also like the contrasting colors on the all-black style. Lastly, the all-red style looks alright, but I prefer the other ones much more. Number 68, the MCU homemade suit. A while back, I made a wishlist video talking about suits that I'd like to see in Spider-Man 2, and something I said for both Peter and Miles was that I wanted to see all of their suits return from the previous games. I still like the idea of having every single suit readily available with each new game, but that's not what we got. Instead, Insomniac decided to pick and choose what suits return, since they basically had to recreate them from the ground up, and Tom Holland's homemade suit was one of them. The suit itself is fine and good as an origin suit, my feelings on it from the first game haven't changed, but it's one of the suits that I feel like could have been left out, especially since we have so many MCU suits in this game already, and we haven't gotten things like the Cosmic suit or the Sensational suit. Number 67, the Great Responsibility suit. Same with the homemade suit, I think it served its purpose in the Miles Morales game, but it didn't need to come back for the sequel. The suit itself is fun, I like it as an origin outfit, especially since it comes directly from the comics, but there's not really a reason to include all these origin suits over other costumes that never made it into any of these games. I'll say this though, at least Insomniac made different suit styles for this outfit. That makes its inclusion feel a little bit more satisfying. My favorite design is still the default style, followed by the all-black style that more closely resembles Miles' classic suit, and then after that is the style that replaces the red with the black and the blue with red. Then lastly, the white and black style didn't really hit the way it could have. If the shoes and the symbol on the back were white, it easily would have been my favorite, but as is, I don't like it that much. Number 66, the Stone Monkey suit. Probably the most obscure suit we've gotten in all three games. I can see why a lot of people would have the Stone Monkey suit toward the bottom of their list, especially if they're unfamiliar with what it's referencing. I, for one, absolutely love that this suit takes inspiration from Sun Wukong because, of course, I'm a Dragon Ball fan and a content creator, so I'm quite familiar with Journey to the West. Like many other suits on this list, I love the concept and inspiration behind this design. This one I just have more of an attachment to than some of the others that I already mentioned. Number 65, the Crimson Cowl suit. This might shock a few of you since the Crimson Cowl was my least favorite in the Miles Morales game, but it's been bumped up significantly because all my complaints were fixed thanks to suit styles. Back in the day, I feel like this suit had way too much red, which is appropriate given the name, but just because a suit has a specific name, that doesn't automatically make it a good looking design. I would have much preferred it if they added more black to balance out the colors. In Spider-Man 2, Insomniac added a black suit style that basically flips the color scheme, and I think it looks amazing. It's easily my favorite version of the suit, even if it defeats the purpose of the name. After that, I really like the black and mint green style, which I think looks clean, and then the default style. In last place is the black, gray, and orange-reddish design that in comparison to the other styles just doesn't look all that great. Number 64, the Apocalyptic suit. Based on the post-apocalyptic and dystopian style, this suit is what Spider-Man would look like if he were thrown into the Mad Max movies. I like the grungy looking design this costume has, and compared to all the sleek and clean, futuristic designs, it's a nice change of pace. The only thing that I dislike about this design is the hair sticking out the top of the mask, which seems to be like a trend with a few of these newer suits. The hair isn't all that big of a deal though, and if you can look past it, it's still a pretty cool design. Number 63, the black and gold suit. I'm not sure if this is a hot take, but I like the black and gold suit, even if it's just the Far From Home suit flipped inside out. The design is just a black outfit with gold webbing, but those colors go really well together and I like the random wires sticking out along the torso. I think it serves its purpose and was a really fun inclusion in the PS5 remastered version of the first game, but in Spider-Man 2, it definitely should have been unlockable early on rather than be saved for one of the highest levels. It doesn't feel satisfying that out of all the Tom Holland suits, this is the one you unlock last. Number 62, the Spider-Punk suit. I always get hate for ranking the Spider-Punk suit so low, but I'm going to do it again, and for good reason. I've never hated the Spider-Punk design. I think it has its place in Spider-Man history, and it's great if you love and are attached to the character, but he's never been my Spider-Man. I think it was a huge wasted opportunity not to replace this suit with the Spider-Punk design from Across the Spider-Verse, like what they did with the Noir suit. If Insomniac would have made that design instead, this would have been easily bumped up by a significant amount because the Spider-Verse design blows this one out of the water and honestly makes it look bland in comparison, but that's just me. Despite that, I do think the default style is still the best look for this suit. After that, I like the black and red style since it gives off more of a punk rocker vibe. Then the white and black style, I love the contrasting colors. And in last place, the mostly red and black suit looks fine, but I prefer its other counterparts. Number 61, the MCU stealth suit. Like a few other suits on this list, Insomniac probably should have left this one out. Don't get me wrong, I've always liked the Far From Home stealth suit, a bit more than most people I'd say, but there's already a lot of Tom Holland suits in the game that this could have easily been replaced with a more unique and more deserving suit. Complaints aside, like I said, I like this design, I really like the super spy aspect behind it, and I think it's great to use during stealth missions, but a lot of my opinions on it haven't changed since the first game. It's a great inclusion, but it probably could have been replaced with something else. Number 60, the homemade suit for Miles. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but here's yet another origin suit that we could have left out going into the sequel. What makes me rank it higher than the others though is the design. There's something about it that makes me like it a bit more. I'm not sure if it's the darker colors or the design on the shirt, maybe a mix of both. The styles on this suit don't really work for me. My favorite design is the default style, followed by the black shirt with the red design on it. It better matches Miles' color palette, and after that, I kinda like the black shirt with the light blue design and how it changes all the red throughout the outfit to the blue color, but my least favorite has to be the blue shirt with the red design on it. That design just feels way too busy. Number 59, the Arancia suit. Out of all the suits included in the add-on for the Digital Deluxe version of the game, the Arancia suit is easily the most Spider-Man-like out of the bunch. It's one of the few that I could actually see him wearing. It looks very similar to a few others in the game, such as the hybrid suit from No Way Home and the red Saving Life suit style from earlier on, but what makes this stand out is the mask. I like how the black section of the neck extends up over the mouth portion of the mask. It makes this suit look more menacing with those black eyes. Number 58, the Smoke and Mirror suit. After completing all the Mysterium side missions, your reward is this Mysterio-inspired outfit, and for what it is, I think it looks alright. I'm not too keen on swinging around with the green and purple color palette, but the helmet more than makes up for it. I love that smoky effect inside, and the eyes piercing through it, and honestly, it makes the whole outfit much cooler. This is one of those suits where the alternate suit styles are much better than the default design. My absolute favorite is the white, black, and gold style, since it looks exactly like the white Power Ranger, and then I love the black and red style since it reminds me a little bit of Red Hood from the Batman franchise, and then after that it's a toss-up between the green and purple styles. I don't really care for either, and they're basically the same, the colors are just swapped between them. Number 57, the City Sound suit. I'll admit, this suit has really grown on me over time. Being your reward for completing the Cultural Museum side quests, this outfit turns Miles into a smooth jazz musician, complete with a fedora and a stylish sweater vest. A lot of people also call this Mafia Spider-Man, so I guess that works too. It works really well when paired with the Spider-Verse Noir suit, so I'll leave it at that. The styles are all pretty stylish too. My favorite is arguably the default style because the red color ties everything together, and after that I think the yellow style looks great with the green gloves, not sure why, it just fits the overall look, and then I'd say the light blue style and the purplish style are both tied for me. I don't really prefer one over the other, they're both pretty clean. Number 56, the Tokusatsu suit. Based on the Tokusatsu style of Japanese media, this suit is essentially what Spider-Man would look like if he were an actual Power Ranger. This is easily the best suit out of all the Digital Deluxe add-ons because it captures the Tokusatsu style so perfectly. It looks absolutely amazing, and I think the style translates perfectly into Spider-Man's suit selection. Also, I love putting this on and pairing it with some of Peter's designs that also give off Power Ranger vibes, so those combinations help bump this suit up a few slots. Number 55, the Boricua suit. This costume is basically just Miles' classic outfit, but the Puerto Rican flag is thrown over his shoulders to represent his culture and heritage. It's a very simple suit, but I think it looks great with the visually popping colors, and the way the flag's design meshes very well with the overall structure of Miles' costume. The best style is of course the default style. The black mixes very well with the red, white, and blue. Then the blue style kinda reminds me of the Captain America costume, which goes great with Peter's Iron Spider armor. After that, the red style and then the white style are my least favorite. Number 54, the Into the Spider-Verse store-bought suit. Based off the store-bought suit from Into the Spider-Verse, this suit looks like it's ripped straight from the movie. The only difference is that the eye holes are no longer open like a Halloween costume. They've been closed because Insomniac didn't want to animate Miles' eyes during gameplay and cutscenes, which I don't blame them. Unlike some of the other origin suits that we've seen in Spider-Man 2, I'm glad that this one actually made the cut because we haven't seen it before, so it felt fresh and exciting to unlock it. Besides, I love the little details associated with the costume, like the tag on the back showing the store that it was bought at. It's a really nice reference to Stan Lee, and because of these reasons, I like throwing it on. Number 53, the Dark Ages suit. The first symbiote-inspired suit on our list is one of Miles's, even though he didn't actually merge with any symbiote in the story. The overall design of the Dark Ages suit is really nice. I love the symbiote hood attached to the back of the neck, and the design of the logo looks really awesome, but I'm not the biggest fan of the boots. They don't stand out that much on the default look, which is why it's my favorite of the four, but they really stand out with all the other styles, and my eyes are immediately drawn to them. I wish the feet were just a solid color, matching the rest of the design. Like I said, the best look is the default style, then I'm actually pretty fond of the all black with the orange logo. It stands out to me and feels unique. Then the all white anti-Venom style is pretty cool, and lastly, the all red Carnage style is neat, but doesn't hold a candle to the others. Number 52, the MCU Iron Spider. Am I crazy, or did they change the shape of the eyes on this suit for some reason? I feel like in the first game, they had the standard Tom Holland shape, but now they're slightly bigger. Not enough to make a difference, but enough to be noticeable. Regardless, my thoughts on the MCU Iron Spider haven't changed. My overall feelings toward it have just gone down after seeing it so often across both movies and games. I think it's a great suit, but I've seen it so much that I just don't really get hype when it pops up anymore, so it's just kinda there for me. Although, I do like how the suit changes the style of the spider arms during gameplay. It's one of the few suits that does that, and that attention to detail is just fantastic. Number 51 and 50, the most dangerous game and last hunt suits. I'm bunching these two suits together because they're literally the same exact suit aside from the names. These two suits are identical for both Peter and Miles, they even have the same suit style colors. Although, if I had to put one above the other, I prefer the last hunt suit over the most dangerous game suit because it better fits Peter's physique and it also has the better name. Aside from that, these two suits are really cool rewards for completing all the Hunter bases because it's just a fusion between Spider-Man and Kraven the Hunter. I love Kraven's character design, so seeing it translated into a Spidey costume is great, especially that fur collar around the neck and up the arms and down the legs. The default style is my favorite look for both suits, followed by the green style, then the white, and lastly the blue, which doesn't look as sleek as the other styles and doesn't look like something out of nature. It just doesn't give me that vibe, if that makes any sense. Number 49, the Scarlet Spider 3 suit. I've been asking for this design for as long as I can remember, and finally Insomniac delivered. The little mouth thing on the mask is gone from the comics, but I'm personally fine with it being left out. It might have ruined a pretty cool design otherwise if it were included. And I might be the only one who cares about this, but I'm glad that the name has the 3 tacked on at the end, because this way it follows that same pattern as Ben and Kane's first two suits. It feels weird having the first and third Scarlet Spider in the game, but not the second, so maybe we'll get Kane as DLC. The black and red style is my favorite look for this suit. It reminds me of Kane's Scarlet Spider colors. Then after that, the default style looks great, and the black and yellow style comes in third place since I think those colors work really well with this suit's design. And lastly, the white and blue style is the one that I tend to use the least often, but overall the style selection for Scarlet Spider 3 is pretty okay. Number 48, the Absolute Carnage suit. Here we have another symbiote-inspired suit for Miles, and I think it looks even cooler than the one we talked about before. I like the creepy tendrils hanging off parts of the costume. It gives off the impression that this suit is alive, even though those tendrils don't actually move. The red and black color palette for Miles also lends itself nicely to the suit, making it look much more intense and threatening. It should go without saying that the all-red Carnage style is my absolute favorite. It goes together very well with Peter's symbiote suit as a Venom and Carnage duo, and after that I like the colors used in the default design, especially the eyes, and then the all-white anti-Venom inspired style comes in third place, and lastly I have the regular black and white symbiote style, not because I think it's bad, but because the other styles just look so much better. Number 47, the King in Black suit. The final Miles symbiote suit on this list, and arguably the best looking for one specific reason. Knowing all of the references to Null and the planet of the symbiotes makes this the coolest design. I really love the spiral effect on the forehead and on the bottom of the logo. They give off this eerie feeling, and it's pretty cool fighting all the hordes of symbiotes while wearing this outfit. In my opinion, the default style is the absolute best look for this design, since the red logo matches Null's logo perfectly. Next up is the white and black style. I love how the spikes on the shoulder and those bandage looking wraps around the arms are black to match the webbing and logos. The all red style is also a nice design, but I would have preferred if the spiky shoulders and the arm wraps were black as well. Lastly, the green style doesn't really do it for me. It would have been cool if they incorporated more black to make the green section stand out. Number 46, the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. suit. References aside, since I'm pretty sure this is based on the cover to Miles Morales' Ultimate Spider-Man number 9, I've been wanting to see a S.H.I.E.L.D. inspired Spidey suit for years now. I've said it in a few videos, but I actually love those secret spy vibes I get whenever I play stealth missions, and now this suit makes it more real. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the black and red style, even though the all black and the default styles are more comic accurate, and those are my second and third favorite styles respectively. I like how the black and red style feels unique to Miles. It feels like it was personally tailored to match his style, and that's a pretty fun headcanon. Last place though, I think the gray and gold style is fine, but everything else is much better. Number 45, the Life Story suit for Miles. It's funny, this is technically Miles' own version of Superior Spider-Man, since in the Life Story comic, Otto steals Miles' body instead of Peter's. With that in mind, I recommend pairing this with the Superior Spider-Man suit that we'll see later on in the list. But anyway, I'm glad that Miles' Life Story suit made it into the game. It's one of those designs that I desperately wanted to see, and it felt like a no-brainer to include. At its core, it's just an astronaut-inspired version of his classic suit, but the amount of pairings that you can come up with for some of Peter's suits, that makes it really fun to throw on. My favorite style is actually a tie between the default style and the other black and red style that has more red on the bottom half of the costume. Even though they're slightly different, I like that both feel relatively close to the classic Miles Morales design. After that, I like the gold and black style. It reminds me of the Uptown Pride suit, and I've said it several times already, but gold and black go together really well. Lastly, the white style would have been great if they took out all the red and replaced it with more white, but it's easy to look past that minor nitpick. Number 44, Peter's life story suit. Speaking of life story, this is one of the many suits that we see Peter wear during the comic run. Funny enough, it's probably my favorite of the different life story suits he wears, so I'm happy that it got included alongside Miles' outfit. A lot of my thoughts on Miles' costume transfer over to Peter's. I think it's a fun, sci-fi astronaut spin on his traditional outfit, and the fact that it's tied to the Emily May Foundation side missions make me enjoy it a bit more. It feels satisfying to unlock it compared to some of the others in the game. The best design is the default style. I love the shades of red and blue, and then surprisingly, I like the orange style next. It reminds me of those orange astronaut jumpsuits that you would see at NASA. Then I'd say it's a tie between the black and white style and the mostly red style, which is just an inverse of the default style. All of Peter's life story suits have something interesting about them, so it's a pretty solid lineup. Number 43, the Miles Morales 2020 suit. You'd think that this suit would have been outdated now because of the name, but surprisingly not. The design is still just as fun as it was in the Miles Morales game, and it reflects the character's musical personality perfectly. Of course, the default style comes out on top, but there's a few cool styles to go alongside it. My second favorite is the one with the red jacket. It kinda reminds me of that jacket that Michael Jackson used to wear. In third place, the black and purple style not only looks cool color-wise, but it sorta reminds me of a synthwave background, which is fitting considering the concept behind this suit. Lastly, the white style just looks a bit off to me. I can't put my finger on it, so I don't use it that much. Number 42, the Programmable Matter suit. I'm glad that Insomniac brought this suit back from the previous game because even though I think it's a really fun design and I enjoy the way it's connected to the villains, there was always a big missed opportunity behind it that held me back from loving it completely. But now, that's all changed. I decided to bump this suit up a few spots in the ranking because of the different suit styles, which add to my overall enjoyment of the suit. My absolute favorite look is the purple style because it actually matches the color of the Tinkerer and the Underground. I believe I mentioned this in my suit ranking for that game and how even though the red was cool, it would have been better if it were purple. Don't get me wrong, the default style is still pretty cool since it's Miles taking the designs of the Underground and turning them into his own, which is why it's my second favorite, and then I'd say it's a toss-up between the light green style and the yellow style. Depending on my mood, I could prefer one over the other, but all in all, these are really great colors. Number 41, the Best There Is suit. I was betting that Insomniac would throw in a suit as a way to promote their upcoming Wolverine game, but I didn't expect this. I just thought they were going to do the Spider Phoenix outfit or something, but instead, they straight up gave us a Wolverine outfit, which is even cooler. This is what it would look like if Spider-Man and Wolverine did the fusion dance, and the outcome is super cool. It gets even better with all the different suit styles because thanks to them, we didn't just get one Wolverine suit, we got 4 of them. As I've gotten older, I started to appreciate Wolverine's brown suit more than his iconic yellow and blue, and I feel the same here. It might be a hot take, but I prefer the brown style. However, I'm not saying that I dislike the yellow and blue, it's actually a really close second. Followed by the default style because I think it looks like Deadpool, and then in last place, the gray style which references the X-Force design. All of these designs are fantastic, so it's tough to rank them against each other. Number 40, the Hybrid suit. Might be a hot take, but even though they're kinda similar, I prefer this suit over the MCU Iron Spider design. The gold spider logo really stands out well against the red and black portions of the costume, and personally, these 3 colors work really well together. Even though this suit was brought back from the first game alongside the black and gold suit, they both feel like relatively new and exciting inclusions, especially since some people might not have had the chance to use them if they never played Spider-Man Remastered on the PS5. Number 39, the Forever suit. Based on the MCU Black Panther design, the Forever suit was included as a tribute to the life of Chadwick Boseman, who played the character before sadly passing away back in 2020. From a design standpoint, this suit is essentially T'Challa's design with some added spider flair to it, but what makes me appreciate this suit is the thought behind it and how it pays tribute to such a great actor. Just like how the Wolverine-inspired suit had great suit styles, the Forever suit is the same way. My absolute favorite is the all-black style because it's basically Black Panther's look in the Civil War movie, which was my favorite look for him. And in second place, I like the black and gold style, which is basically Killmonger and Shuri's suits. After that, the default style looks really cool, like a fusion between Black Panther and Spider-Man, and then in last place, the black and purple style is great because it references that kinetic energy power that Black Panther has in his standalone movie. All in all, the Forever suit has a really solid design, a great lineup of styles, and is a beautiful tribute to Chadwick Boseman. Number 38, the Family Business suit. At its core, this suit is practically Miles' own version of the Iron Spider. It has similar design elements with a slightly different color scheme, but the functionality of the suit is the exact same. The Spider logo is a tiny bit different, however, same with the eyes, so it's fun to spot out differences between this and Peter's suit. The default style is the best design, it looks the best, and also references the Aaron Davis Iron Spider design from the comics. The second best style is the same design, but with a slightly more vibrant yellow alongside red hands and feet. It may look a bit silly, but that's how Miles' own Iron Spider looks in the comics. Third, the green style looks pretty cool. It kinda reminds me of Master Chief's design in some way. And lastly, the purple style doesn't really do it for me. It's supposed to reference the Prowler, but there's already a suit in the game that does that idea much better. Number 37, the Track suit, also known as Miles' own version of the Advanced suit, mostly because of the inclusion of the color white. I feel like this suit has only gotten better with age because I appreciate its design much more than I did back in 2020. I'm not sure if it's because of some of the other suits being added that make this look better, or if it's because my tastes have changed, but either way, the colors work really well and the styles make this design even better. I hope that most of you can agree with me when I say that Insomniac really cooked with the all-black style. It looks amazing and feels like a logical upgrade from Miles' classic design. In second place, I've got to put the default style. I love the white contrasting against the red and black. It's always been a pretty great design. In third place, I like the red and blue style and how it matches the traditional Spider-Man colors. Then in last place, the light blue style is something that I rarely put on. I think it's supposed to look like Spider-Man 2099, but I much prefer the other three styles over it. Number 36, the End suit. What's better than a dark and gritty version of Miles? The End suit was one of those costumes that surprised me the most in the Miles Morales game, and now that it's back in the sequel, I'd argue that it's still one of his better looking designs. The shape of the eyes, the hood, the red digital camo pants, they all make this design look super intense. First place goes to the default style. It's still one of the coolest Miles Morales designs that I've ever seen, but the red style follows behind very closely. I love the eyes and the army pants that are used. Same goes for the white style, which has a really cool piercing red eye color and kinda reminds me of a dark and gritty version of the tracksuit. Lastly, I could do without the blue style. I think the colors clash together too much to make it look good. Number 35, the Brooklyn 2099 suit. I'm not sure how they did it, but Insomniac pulled off a design that has both sleek armor on the upper half and baggy pants on the lower half. What makes this design stand out to me is the simplicity behind it. Despite its intent on capturing that futuristic feel, usually when I see a futuristic Spider-Man suit, it's always overly complicated and either feels way too bulky or way too light. But the Brooklyn 2099 suit found a way to balance everything without going overboard. The blue style is my favorite, not only because I love the color combination, but it reminds me of that Tron Spider-Man design from a few years ago. Second place goes to the default style, then it's a toss-up between the grayish blue and green style and the orange style. I tend to steer clear from both of those designs and focus purely on the blue and red styles. Number 34, the Miles Morales 2099 suit. Out of both the 2099 Miles suits, I still think I prefer this one a tiny bit more because of the similarities it has to Miguel's design. The hood and the glowing eyes are the two details that carry this design for me, and I could easily see this being the look of a Miles Morales-esque character that would work alongside Miguel. Breaking the default style streak, my actual favorite design for the Miles Morales 2099 suit is the yellow and black style. You probably could have seen this coming by now, but I love the combination of colors, so that makes it my favorite. Next, there's actually a tie between the default style and the black and purple style, which, just like the Miles Morales 2020 suit, it reminds me of that synthwave style of music, so it fits that futuristic vibe. Last place goes to the white style, which doesn't look bad, there's some charm behind it, but it doesn't look anything like the other three. Number 33, the Anti-Venom suit. There's been a lot of controversy regarding the Anti-Venom suit, or Anti-Venom if you say it that way. Some people say that it defeats the purpose of the Black Suit story arc about Peter learning to overcome his addiction to it. Others say that it doesn't matter since it's just a video game and it's a way to keep the symbiote powers going into the post-game, but regardless of what your thoughts on it might be, the suit design looks incredible. This definitely has that endgame look to it thanks to the inverted colors, making it stand out against the symbiotes that you fight, and I really like those sharp eyes and the design of the spider logo. It's a fun suit to use in the post-game since, at the end of the day, it is just a video game, but I'm curious how they'll address it going into Spider-Man 3's story. Maybe we'll end up seeing Peter give it to Harry, who knows. Number 32, the Anti-Ox suit. Such a peak design, even after all these years. The best thing about this suit is that it's made out of the same material as Doc Ock's arms, and just the idea of Peter using Otto's own weapon against him, it's such a great idea. It would have been a fun reference if the damaged version of this suit showed the advanced suit underneath, just like how it was at the end of the first game, but I can totally see why they didn't go down that route. The default style for Anti-Ock carries this suit hard. I don't really wear the other styles. I only care about the default one because of the black and yellow. Out of all of them though, the red style works the best because the white spider stands out against the all-red color scheme. Then the all-white style is pretty cool, but it feels too bright, which can be appealing to some people. Lastly, the all-green style should have used a different color for the spider logo, and I probably would have liked it a bit better. Number 31, the Advanced Tech Suit. If the tracksuit is seen as Miles' version of the Advanced Suit, then it only makes sense that the Advanced Tech Suit is his Anti-Ox suit, since they're both armor upgrades. The look of this outfit was one of my favorites from the Miles Morales game because of its sleek tech design and the subtle glow highlighting different sections of the armor. Similar to the Anti-Ox suit, the Advanced Tech Suit is carried by its default style, which looks phenomenal thanks to the color palette from Miles' classic suit. Although, I actually do like the white style with the red spider logo. I think it works really well. Then, there's a huge drop off between second and third place, where I decided to put the all-red style. I think it's fine, but the red spider logo should have been black to act as a reverse of the default design. Then, in dead last, the bright blue style. I think it could have worked if the blue was toned down to something like a navy blue, but as it is, I could go without it. Number 30, the Amazing Suit. Andrew Garfield's first movie suit was one of my favorites from the first game, and just because it's ranked so low this time, that doesn't mean I like it any less. There's so many incredible suits in this game that the bar just keeps getting raised, so even suits that are here in the 30s, they're still top tier designs. Andrew's first movie suit has always been underrated to me, and since the second movie suit ended up being added to the game, I'm glad it was brought back to give Andrew fans more representation. Number 29, the Purple Rain suit. What would happen if the Prowler fused with Spider-Man? This would be the result. My opinions on this suit have stayed the exact same throughout the years. I love the concept behind it and the colors blend together really well. The shade of purple isn't too bright, making the greens and gray stand out, and of course, I love the menacing shape of the eyes. It makes the suit 10 times better than it would look otherwise. The default style remains the best. I love the idea of Miles taking on the Prowler mantle and mixing it with his Spider-Man identity, and this suit captures that perfectly. The red style, which is my second favorite, somewhat expands on that idea and replaces Prowler's colors with Miles' color palette. If the masks and shoulders were black instead of gray, it probably would have been my favorite. In third place, the dark gray and green style works really well, but not as much as my two favorites. And then in last place, the bright purple and green style is neat, mostly because it matches the original design for the Prowler in the comics, but all in all, the Purple Rain suit has a great selection of alternate suit styles. Number 28, Scarlet Spider. Ben Reilly has always been one of my favorite alternate Spider-Men, and even though his original Scarlet Spider design is a prime example of 90s edginess, it's too iconic to not have a higher spot in the ranking. Insomniac did a perfect job of modernizing the outfit without losing any of the charm that made it work in the first place, and that's why it's one of my favorites from the first game. As per usual, the default style clears the rest, but the black and red style is still pretty cool. I believe the colors are supposed to reference that time that Ben Reilly was the Jackal, which isn't a great time for the character, but the colors translate really well onto the Scarlet Spider design. Same thing with the black and purple style. It's supposed to be a reference to Chasm, and I think that's a cool nod and all, but the colors don't work as well as the previous style. In last place, the reverse blue and red style looks a bit goofy. I can appreciate what it's going for, but I'd rather just wear the default colors. Number 27, the comics Iron Spider armor. I can't quite put my finger on it, but the comics Iron Spider suit looks a little different from what we saw in the first game. I can't tell if they added tiny details to it or if they just made the colors more vibrant, but I'm loving how it looks on the PS5. The Iron Spider has always been one of my favorite alternate Spidey suits, so I'm glad that it's made a comeback. My only nitpick with the suit is how it looks with the web wings. It would have been really cool if they added a repulsor blast effect to the hands and feet to make it look like he was flying like Iron Man. Once again though, the default style remains the best, but coming in second place, the black and gold style looks really sleek. Just like what I was saying with the family business suit, the black and gold style is supposed to reference Aaron Davis and his Iron Spider, so it was a no-brainer to include that. Third, I appreciate the white and gold style because it's yet another reference to the white Power Ranger, so it works really well with Miles' white smoke and mirror suit, or the Tokusatsu suit. Last place, I unfortunately have to give it to the blue and gold style because, unfortunately, while it looks really good, every other design is just a tiny bit better. Number 26, the original Advanced suit. The Advanced suit is an Insomniac original design that has become one of the most iconic looks for the character. I love this design to this very day, but we all have to admit that it looks a bit off in comparison to the Advanced suit 2.0. The original Advanced suit is still such a fantastic design and will forever have a place in Spider-Man history, but Insomniac went above and beyond with the 2.0 version for this game, perfecting every little flaw from the original to the point that it was bound to go down a few spots in the ranking. And who could have guessed, the default style is the best version of the Advanced suit. Second place, I've got to give it to the black symbiote style. I'm really happy that Insomniac added this because it validates all those fan-made symbiote designs that we've seen over the years, and I think it looks really good. Third place goes to the blue and red style, aka the Advanced Webman style. There's a lot of color swap styles in this game, and this is one of the few that I think works. Last place though, I've got to give it to the red and greenish style that has the gold eyes and the spider logo. I know, it's supposed to reference the Oscorp suit from the comics, but the way this was executed just looks weird. It's a huge wasted opportunity not to bring back the negative suit from the first game as a suit style. It should have replaced the Oscorp suit 100%. Not only does the negative suit style look better, but it was one of my favorites and it should have been brought back. Number 25, the upgraded classic suit, aka the Stark suit. I'm always going to have a soft spot for the Stark suit, and to this day when there's so many different Tom suits to choose from, it'll always be one of my favorites. Nothing can replicate that enjoyment that I had seeing this suit when it first showed up in Captain America Civil War, and I'll admit, those black bands going around the shoulders and down the arms don't really matter all that much to me. I actually like them. The colors are all super vibrant and fun, and the Stark suit just serves as a prime reminder for how lighthearted and fun this character can be. Number 24, the MCU upgraded suit. This suit has grown on me a lot over the years, and is one of the major reasons why I think Spider-Man looks best in red and black. I always appreciate a good old red and blue suit, but red and black just feels more mature and sleek, and in comparison to the Stark suit, the upgraded suit represents that perfectly. It represents Tom's Peter maturing and discovering his own path, and I think that's really important in understanding why this design works so well. I also really like the white spider logo on the back. It works really well against the black sections of the suit. Number 23, the sportswear suit. I love a Spider-Man suit with some casual clothing thrown on top, and the sportswear suit pulls that concept off pretty well. I've already expressed why I like this outfit so much in the past, and my opinions have not changed, but what makes me rank this suit so much higher is everything Insomniac added to make it bigger and better than before. There is not a single bad suit style for this suit, and that's crazy. I've spent a pretty significant amount of time wearing all these different styles, so my overall enjoyment for the suit has gone up significantly. My favorite design has to be the Spider-Verse style, without a doubt. I've been asking for a Leap of Faith suit for as long as I can remember, and this is the closest we've gotten, so I was pretty happy to see it included. Second place goes to the all-black style, which includes a classic Miles Morales mask. I mentioned a few years ago that the sportswear suit would have been much better if it had that Miles mask instead of the traditional red Spider-Man mask, and thankfully, all these suit styles delivered on that. In third place, the red jacket works really well as an inverse of the default style, which surprisingly comes in last place. Don't get me wrong, I love the default style, but like I said before, the suit styles are all crazy good in comparison. Number 22, the Secret Wars Civil War suit. I was never a big fan of this suit in the comics, and I think it's because it always lacked a mask. Thankfully, Insomniac didn't want to animate Peter's face during gameplay and cutscenes, so they ended up tossing in a mask like I always wanted, and it brings the whole look together so well. My favorite thing about this suit is the fact that it doesn't have any web wings. Instead, a pair of actual wings open up from the back whenever you're flying, and it's a super cool detail. The all-white style is undoubtedly my favorite. Not only do the colors work really well, but I love winter camo designs, and that's why it appeals to me so much. Second place, the default style looks really great. Then the all-green army style comes in third place, which is fitting since this is practically a militarized version of Spider-Man. Then lastly, the pink style. It's okay, I think it's funny to wear from time to time, and it gives off a goofy vibe like Captain Falcon's pink color from Smash Bros, but it looks like something out of Fortnite and feels alienated from the other three. Number 21, the Arachnite suit. If you saw my suits wishlist video for Spider-Man 2, you might remember that I had this on there, but I included it as wishful thinking, so I was really surprised when Insomniac revealed it as a pre-order early unlock bonus. It's such an obscure costume, and considering it has a cape that would have needed additional time to animate, we're pretty lucky to have gotten it in the first place. With all that in mind, it's not hard to imagine this taking a high spot on the ranking. It's hard to top the default style, so that's why it's my favorite, although the all black style with the orange highlights is pretty cool too, so that's why it goes in second. Third place, I've got to go with the blue and white style. I like it enough to put it on occasionally, I just wish the blue portions were darker, like a navy blue. Last place has to go to the ketchup and mustard style though, which I don't mind the color combination, but I'm sure 99% of us all thought the same thing. Number 20, the Shadow Spider suit. This suit pairs together so well with the Arachnite suit. I love the cape animations on both, and the designs look fantastic, but I'm ranking this higher because I prefer the black and red color scheme. I may be in the minority here, but I think this suit looks much better with the full mask rather than what we saw in the comics where Miles' eyes were exposed. The black style with those white highlights goes really hard, so it's just barely my favorite design above the default style. They're both essentially the same, but the white highlights and the red cape make me like it a tiny bit more. The blue style comes in third place because it combines my favorite colors, navy blue and black. I just wish the Arachnite suit had the same style as this. Lastly, the white and gold style looks awesome, but unfortunately I wear it the least out of these styles, and it suffers from sharing the room with 3 better designs. Number 19, Into the Spider-Verse suit. This was my favorite suit in the Miles Morales game, and while it would have been cool to see the Leap of Faith suit in the sequel, I'm glad that this suit came back because it's without a doubt one of Miles' most iconic looks. The logo itself is incredible. I love the spray paint effect on it, and the concept of this being one of Peter's suits restyled to fit Miles' artistic talent, everything about it is amazing. Anytime I put this on, I just want to rewatch the movie. Number 18, the Bodega Cat suit. This suit takes everything I like about the sportswear suit and dials it up to 11. Miles pulls off the casual Spider-Man outfit so well, and this is one of the best examples with the color of hoodie used, the logo on it, the shoes, and I especially love that the Cat Spider-Man is there to help you out like he's your sidekick. I love that the inclusion of the suit styles allows you to change the color of the hoodie though, so then you can customize it to better fit your own personal tastes. Speaking of styles, my favorite is a tie between the all black style and the default style. They're both essentially the same, except the hoodie colors are swapped and the Cat Spider-Man's mask changes to a classic Miles mask, so I like that little detail. Last place is also a tie between the blue style and the green style, which also changes the Cat Spider-Man's mask, but I think the blue works a little bit better since the green clashes more with the black, but they're both pretty even for me. Number 17, 2099 Black Suit. If Peter and Miles are the top 2 Spider people, then Miguel is easily number 3. Some people might disagree with that, but I've always been a big Spider-Man 2099 fan, and that's never going to change. Miguel's suit is iconic, simple, and straight to the point, and because of my attachment to the character, I'm always going to gravitate toward his design and wear it whenever possible. Even though the blue suit is such an iconic look for Miguel, I'm so glad that Insomniac finally included the black and red style from the comics. It validates the name and is easily my favorite design because of it. The default style comes in second place, very close to the black and red style, and then in third place, I have the black and white symbiote style. It doesn't get much cooler than a 2099 symbiote suit, so I'm glad it's here. Then in last place, there's a huge drop off between the other 3 styles and the purple style. I'm sure it's another reference to those synthwave designs that I've talked about, but it doesn't work for me, and the other 3 styles are so much better. Number 16, Spider-Verse Noir suit. As much as I love the traditional realistic Spider-Man noir suit, it was a no-brainer to include the widely beloved Spider-Verse version in the sequel. I can't tell you how many comments I've gotten on previous videos saying that they would have loved seeing this suit in the game, and now it's finally here, and it looks amazing. However, if you want to take it to the next step, go to your game's visual settings and turn on the high contrast background. It turns everything black and white. Try it out, you're welcome. Number 15, the new blue suit. I've been asking for a Fantastic Four Spider-Man suit for years, and this is probably the closest we'll get aside from Bagman, so I'll take it. Blue and black are my favorite colors, so combining them into a Spider-Man suit is fantastic, no pun intended. It would have been nice seeing the number 4 logo on the chest, but the Tom Holland-esque spider logos do a pretty good enough job of giving off a similar vibe, so it's all good with me. My favorite suit style is a toss-up between the default style and the black and blue style. They both meet the Fantastic Four vibe and are basically just color swaps of each other, but I love both because the combination of blue and black is peak. Third place, I'll go with the black and white style since it kinda reminds me of the Negative Zone suit from the comics, but I'll talk more about that in a second. And last place, I'll go with the red and blue style. I love the traditional colors, but this is basically just the classic suit without webs and the white spider on the back. It's cool, but not as cool as the others. Number 14, Peter's classic suit. It's Insomniac's take on the traditional red and blue suit. It doesn't get much better than this. Insomniac kept it simple, they got the point across, and they made it look visually stunning with the shade of colors used, and without a doubt, it's Peter's most iconic look. As a side note, I'm really happy that Insomniac tossed out the damaged classic suit from the first game and just made it a gameplay visual where your suit gets damaged the more damage you take, regardless of whatever suit you're wearing. That way, it's still in our hearts and not forgotten. Most of the suit styles for the classic suit work really well. The red and black style is my absolute favorite because it reminds me of the character's debut in Amazing Fantasy 15, and I've always liked darker colors on Spidey. Then, in a very close second place is the default style. Third place, I've got to go with Webman. Some people might hate it since it's just a color swap, but not me. I love obscure references like this. Finally, in last place, the red and blue style with the white spider logos. I get it, they're making a cute nod to the white spider on the advanced suit, but it really should have been the Negative Zone suit from the comics. And sure, the new blue suit gave us a nod to it, but if they were just going to copy and paste the default classic style but only change the spider to white, they should have just gone the full mile and recolored the whole suit to be black and white. I would have much preferred that. Number 13, Miles' classic suit. We've already talked about Peter's classic suit, so now let's talk about Miles. Insomniac did the same exact thing they did with Peter, but for Miles. They stayed true to the classic design, but added in their own bells and whistles to modernize it and make it feel more realistic. When it comes to the Miles Morales suit, this will always be his most iconic, regardless of how stylish his alternate suits might be. Throughout most of my first playthrough, I wore the red and black style for this costume. It's such a clean design and is easily my favorite style for the amount of time I spent with it. Second place goes to the default style because even though I preferred using the red and black style, you can't beat the original black and red. In third place, we have the purple and black style. I wish they brought back the black and gold Uptown Pride suit, but this is a good enough replacement. Lastly, the white and blue style is fine, I just don't have much of an opinion on it aside from it falling behind the other cooler designs. Number 12, the 10th anniversary suit. This was a suit that really surprised me. When I first saw it in the comics, I was kinda meh on it, and I didn't really care either way. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, I just preferred the classic suit. In Spider-Man 2 though, it quickly became one of my favorites and my go-to post-game suit over the evolved suit. The hot pink color really stands out and makes it unique. It's a color choice you don't typically see with Spider-Man, but I think the way this suit is designed, it pulls everything off rather well. There's two really great styles that I use frequently, and then the other two I often forget about. The two that I really enjoy are the default style and the black and red style. They're essentially the same exact suit, one is just hot pink and the other is traditional red. Depending on your tastes, you might prefer one over the other, and I'm the same way. Sometimes I like wearing the default style, other times I like the other one, especially during the story where I can use it instead of the evolved suit. In third place, I have the black and purple style, which is a cool gradient running from the top of the outfit to the bottom. It starts out as purple, but ends up as a light blue, and it's pretty neat. Last place, I'll go with the all red style. I don't have any issues with it, I just prefer the color swapped version. Number 11, the classic black suit. A suit that was painfully missed from the first game. It's been such a long time since we've gotten the traditional black suit in a video game, but the wait was worth it. Insomniac really cooked with this because it's literally the costume brought to life straight out of the comics. No modernizations, no texture changes, it's just the black suit and it's perfect. The black suit is one of those rare suits where it doesn't have a single badge suit style. Every single one of them is awesome, which makes it surprising that the default style remains my favorite. Behind it is a toss-up between the purple style and the 90s animated symbiote style with the blue and red highlights. I'm a huge fan of both of the source materials that these suits come from. The purple style comes from the Ultimate Spider-Man comics and Web of Shadows, and the red and blue comes from the 90s animated show. I know these two suits were highly requested by fans for the longest time, so I'm glad that Insomniac found a way to include both. Lastly, the white anti-Venom style is cool and all, but it just is not the other three. Number 10, the Superior Spider-Man suit. I stand by the idea that this should have been the 100% completion reward for the first game. It would have made total sense back then, but at least the Superior suit is here now. Everything from the colors down to the messy web pattern, it's perfect and was well worth the wait. Plus, it goes without saying that this pairs really well with a lot of Miles' outfits, you know, with the red and black and all that. Once again, this is a costume that has a really awesome selection of suit styles, and what makes them even cooler is that the spider arms change color depending on which style you use, so that's fun. Of course, my absolute favorite is the default Superior style, but the Superior Octopus style is a very close second. It's not an exact remake of what we've seen in the comics, but it makes me really happy that they even referenced it to begin with. Third place, I've got to go with the all black and red style. It's almost like it's a what-if scenario where Miles went through his own Superior Spider-Man arc, and then finally, last place goes to the blue style, which is not bad by any means. I like it a lot. It's just another example of a really cool suit falling behind the other three. Number 9, the Across the Spider-Verse suit. I can't be the only one who likes the suit better than the Into the Spider-Verse suit, right? I feel like the more refined logo and sleeker look represents Miles coming into his own and turning the Spider-Man mantle into his own thing. It represents growth, and I like whenever a suit can make me feel a certain way outside of just looking cool. The bleeding armpits are of course a standout though, they make the suit look much cooler. Number 8, the Amazing 2 suit. We've all wanted it, we've all asked for it, and now we've gotten it. Andrew's second movie suit was one of the most requested behind Tobey Maguire's suit, and now it's finally here. So much love and care has been put into this costume to perfect its look. Insomniac even put out multiple updates just to make sure fans were happy with how well it translated from film to game, and man, it looks amazing. Definitely one of the best movie suits out there, and I'm happy for all the Andrew fans who got what they wanted after all these years. Number 7, the new red and blue suit. The name is alright, but I would have much preferred them calling it the Final Swing suit. It's a catchier name, and it's what most people call it, but that's just a nitpick. Regardless of what it's called, Tom's newest suit has quickly become a fan favorite in the community due to its extremely comic accurate appearance. I for one cannot wait to see more of it on the big screen, but for now I'll spend as much time as I can with it in-game. It looks gorgeous. Number 6, the webbed black suit. It's been a long time since I've seen the Bully Maguire suit in a video game, but this sure does take me back. Tobey's black suit was my first exposure to the black suit arc and the Venom character, so this hits me hard in the nostalgia. Call me a Raimi shill all you want, I love those movies and hold them near and dear to my heart, and that's what it means to be a Spider-Man fan. Everybody has their own tastes, their own biases, and as long as we can all appreciate each other and our tastes, that's all that matters. Back to the suit though, it's just a recolor of the webbed suit, but I think it works really well with the slightly altered spider logo and the silver webbing. It really makes the whole design work. Number 5, the webbed suit. You all knew this was coming. I've been a Raimi fan all my life, and to this day, it still gets me excited whenever I see references to it. I know, PC modders can make the suit look movie accurate and realistic, but for what this is, I think it looks great and gets the job done. It looks even better in Spider-Man 2 than it did in the first game because Insomniac tweaked the colors to make them darker to better match what we see in the movies, and I'm really glad that they took the time to address some of those concerns that fans had and improved upon them. Number 4, Miles' upgraded suit. This is the definitive look for Miles for me. It's the perfect amount of black to red ratio without entirely changing what makes his classic suit work in the first place. I love how the head and shoulders are a darker shade of black and the rest of the body is a gray. It's a subtle change that benefits the overall design, so Insomniac knocked this out of the park. The default style wins the gold medal for suit styles because it's honestly a peak Miles Morales design. It doesn't get much better than this. Silver medal goes to the black and blue style. Even though I like darker colors, I think the lighter blue works really well on this design and looks like those new blue powers are surging throughout the suit. Bronze medal goes to the white and red style for the same reasons as the advanced tech suit white suit style. I think the white and red go together really well. Last place, I'm giving a participation prize to the red and blue style. It's cool enough. I like the idea of Miles wearing Peter's colors, but it's not as good as the look of the other three. Number 3, the symbiote suit. I just gotta say, I love how the design of the traditional black suit changes to this whenever you enter symbiote rage mode. This suit embodies that feeling of rage and showcases Peter's increasing addiction to the suit and how his anger has grown throughout the story. The spider logo and the angry eyes are what sell this design for me because it foreshadows Venom's design later in the game, and in general, it just looks so intense. It's such a vicious and amazing design. Number 2, the black suit. I've grown to love and appreciate Insomniac's take on the black suit just as much as their advanced suit. It's a suit that feels like it's alive, but at the same time, it still feels like any other costume. It takes aspects of the classic black suit and modernizes them through minor details like those sections of muscle fiber that give off the sense that this suit is more nimble and breathable. I'm aware that not everyone loves this design, which is why there's always the option to change into the classic black suit, but I appreciate how Insomniac made this suit their own without majorly changing the things that we loved about it to begin with. And number 1, the Advanced Suit 2.0. Such a huge improvement over the original Advanced Suit. I said it already, but I just have to reiterate that Insomniac really took their time to perfect and clean up everything about the original suit that, in retrospect, felt out of place and even ugly. This redesign really makes me appreciate the company and their love for the character of Spider-Man, as well as their dedication to the fanbase, because they listen to everything we say and take everything to heart. These games and suits are as good as they are because of Insomniac's love and dedication, and I'm proud to say that this series has become one of my favorite incarnations of the character. Because this is the final suit on the list, I'm gonna save my favorite style for the very end and work my way up from the worst. In last place, everyone could have seen this coming. The yellow and white style looks really cheesy, pun intended, because it looks like one of those Kraft cheese singles. In third place, I have the Webman inspired style, the blue and red variant. There's a lot of Webman inspiration throughout the game, my favorite being the one attached to the classic suit, but this one is alright. I like the white spider against the blue portions of the suit, and in second place, the default style. It has incredible colors and has more vibrant shades of red and blue compared to the original advanced suit, but my absolute favorite suit in the entirety of Marvel Spider-Man 2 has to be the red and black version. Not only did I use this throughout the entirety of my first playthrough, but this is just a peak Spider-Man design, maybe one of the best I've ever seen. The colors blend together really well. Red, white, and black look so good on a Spidey suit, and I love how this style uses a darker shade of red, almost a pinkish shade. Everything about this style is perfect to me, so much so that I wish it were the actual canonical suit for Peter moving forward. But I'm happy with what we have, and I'm happy with all the adjustments Insomniac made to perfect their design for Peter Parker. And there we have it, everyone. That was my definitive ranking for every single suit and suit style from Marvel Spider-Man 2. What did you think of my list? Is there anything that you'd change? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and be sure to comment your own ranking as well. There are literally hundreds of suits that you could pick from, so I'm very interested in hearing which styles are your absolute favorite. As always, if you liked today's video, please do me a favor and click that thumbs up button to show your support. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a video. I talk about a lot more than just Spider-Man. I'm primarily a Dragon Ball YouTuber, and I occasionally talk about Nintendo from time to time, so if any of those topics interest you, you'll fit right in. Until my next video though, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be seeing all of you Spider-Man fans later. See ya!